Did I screw up? I think I did. Damn it. Hold on. I had the intro rolling and I didn't have it on loop. And because it's so fabulous, we're going to watch it. So hold please. And I'll be back with you in 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
Father, you should know I've been going solo. Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go. Lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time it's real, real, real. I do what I want. 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 I want. Hear me now. I do what I want. Are you ready now? 'Cause it won't be easy. Only get what you work for. Gotta go all out. Whenever you see me, don't be wasting my time. Watch me go. Lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. 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 I want. Hear me now. Watch me go. Lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. I do what I want.
Good morning. What's new, pussycat?
Are we back? We're back. I'm back. Well, y'all will be happy to know that while I was sitting here perusing Google, Sephora 2023 holiday gift sets are here because it is, after all, September 20th. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but my God, I'm certainly ready to start that Christmas shopping. My God, this shit gets more every year. It just gets more and more absurd. The goalpost just keeps moving further back. I mean, next year, is it going to be probably August? And I mean, y'all, I was in, for any of you that didn't see in my little video this morning, if you look behind me at my little table, you probably can't see it very well, but I was shopping yesterday at Home Goods and picked up a couple things, and I kid you not, the majority of it was Halloween, but they had one rack on the top of the Halloween, like some of the more, you know how Home Goods will do, like every holiday they at least have a couple shelves full of kind of like non-traditional holiday decor. A lot of what I noticed they've been doing last season and this one is Halloween and Christmas with a coastal kind of theme. So, you know, God, I've always said before I kick it and go to the, you know, shoe salon in the sky, I would love to do not a whole house, Unless of course it was like a, like a second house or a rental property kind of a deal. But I've always wanted to do, I love blue and white. Blue and white is so classic and classy. But I don't know, I've just never, that's not real. While I love it and I think it's gorgeous, it's just not my personal aesthetic. I mean, this is all of this. This is Lisa's personal aesthetic. But I do have a husband who he's pretty good. I mean, big purchases, those we kind of well, I was going to say that we agree on, but what would be more truthful to say is I know not to ask for anything too outrageous, because if I had my druthers, my entire home would look like a Lilly Pulitzer store. I know not to go that far, but I know where that the pink line is drawn in the sand, and I know how to make it appear for let's just say I know how to keep that illusion of fair and equal. But this isn't a court of law, so I don't have to do that. But I try not to ask for the impossible. I go right up next to impossible. I get in the neighborhood of impossible. And then I just wear him down. I have to say, he's pretty good. The only time we've ever really had words about a big purchase was there was one time about a car. But other than that, and that too, okay, this isn't about me. Well, it kind of is. I mean, it's my channel. All right, so I'm going to say hi to the kids in class, and then we're going to get rolling. Y'all, have I mentioned yet? I hate YouTube. God, I hate this fucking dump. And I don't want to, I don't want to, I need to keep my powder dry, so to speak. I'm not going to, we're not going to go like, we're not going in hard 8 minutes and 11 seconds in. But let's just say there's been at least 2 times over the past several days where I've been revisiting my first time here on YouTube. And if, like all of us, I know myself, and I know I try not to make like, oh, I was going to say big, but this isn't fucking, this isn't anything important. Not for me, it's not. So I don't want to like build it up to be more than it is, because it is not. But I do fully appreciate that YouTube very much is very important to a lot of people. And I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying that I think it would be helpful to everyone if everybody could just bear in mind what I just said. I listen, while I don't understand it, well, I shouldn't say that. I do understand it. I can absolutely understand that this place very much is everything to many people for, I'm sure, lots of reasons, because of, maybe they don't have a lot of family, maybe they don't have a lot of friends, maybe they, aren't able to work, and this is that maybe they don't have transportation, maybe this is their be all end all social life, etc. But it is not that for me. So let me say hi because I'm not gonna deviate from the notes. And there's a reason that I made the notes, because if I didn't make the notes, well, it would be me doing what I'm doing right now, which is just, a problem that many people have on here. And I mean, I've had it at times, not very often, but something that a lot of people in this dump are afflicted with is the mouth going faster than the brain. I have the opposite problem. I have so much rolling through here that I want to get to come out of here, that when it's anything of note or of importance to me, I have to do this. Like, I have to get my thoughts together. I have to lay them out. Oh, hi, Mom. How are you? And if I don't, then, I'm doing one of these. And, y'all got lives to live. I think everybody's lost enough of their lives over the past, what's it been, a couple days now, of DEFCON 4 situation. I realize I'm going to be one of the last ones weighing in on this, but that's okay, because that might indicate, well, hopefully, I hope it indicates that I haven't spoken yet, because number one, it's not my story. And number two, I wanted to just see, I don't give a shit about being first. I've never been about that. I don't need to be first. That's not what I want to do. I would like to be correct. And this isn't anything to be right or wrong about, not from where I'm coming at it. But I wanted to just kind of let all the dust begin to settle and see how things, who said what about XYZ. So there you have it. And that's what I'm going to do right after I say hello. Hey, Emmy, how are ya? Oh, is it lunch break? What time is it? 12:15. You've got the little heathens. Oh God, I can't imagine working with, I don't know what age kids Emmy works with, but I don't think they're elementary school. Oh God, whatever they are, it's gotta be. Oh. Miss Patty is listening while she is dog grooming. Patty, Bob wants to know if you can work him in. And if so, just give me a date and time. And if I've got to put him on a damn first class flight to your destination, my dog desperately needs to get to the groomer. Last time he went, we shaved him all down. So I always forget when he's got even half of his, regular, like what they call a show coat. Kind of like me, he gets a standing appointment. Like, when I leave, I schedule an appointment for 4 to 5, anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks. It just depends on how long his hair is. But because they shaved him the last time, I didn't make an appointment. And I looked at him last night and I was like, oh, look at my poor baby. He's getting a little mangy. And after all, he is a reflection of me, his owner. Much like me, Bob is also blonde. Bob's white. Okay. Hey, Wine, Crime, and Mayhem. How are you? Helen Highwater. Good afternoon. Be careful driving. Hey, AMAC, how are you? AMAC, my head of the Crimes and Fashion research team. Oh, that reminds me. I was listening to Laura's from, I guess it was last night, and she was going over Deet's panel. I only got to hear less than an hour of Deet's, and I had been out yesterday doing real life shit, and what I was supposed to do, I got there, and that vaporized. That did not carry on as planned. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm out, and I'm done up. I'm not one to waste, well, I didn't have a full beat on because I didn't put lashes on. I don't put lashes on to like go out in the wild. But I did have makeup on, and I even had appropriate shoes. My shoes I really live in when I'm just knocking around. Tory Tory Burch Miller flip flops. So I thought, you know what? I was supposed to be making money today, but that didn't happen. So hell, let's just go spend some money. When one can't happen, well, go to the fallback. So that's what I did. Hey, SoFlo Mama, how you doing? There's Beer Can Island. How are you? So yeah, by the time I got home, you guys, it was probably mid-afternoon, and I came in my office with my new purchases to. I wasn't joking in that video when I said that I've painted a whole house one time. Not me, but I've had the house painted because of a throw pillow I bought. It's kind of like a domino effect. So I was in here just moving. I put the new stuff out. I went to go get something in my closet, and when a box fell on my head, that gave me another brilliant idea. I have so many. Like I say, you guys, I save all of my, bigger purchases, nicer things. I save all the boxes. I save all the receipts, all of the tags, all of the cards, if the box comes wrapped in ribbon. I mean, not every, you know which ones I'm talking about. So I keep all of that in the very top shelf of my shoe closet. And I went to try and they are literally, there's the top shelf, and then there is several feet from the bottom of the top shelf to the ceiling. And I typically keep all those boxes. I just keep them up there because it looks pretty. And I have to store them somewhere. So when that thing fell on me yesterday, as I was trying to it was like a Jenga game. I was just trying to get that one little sunglass box, and then the other ones fell, and I was like, well, shit, you know what? I should, because the other day I was watching one of these, and you can see more of what's behind me on the live than you ever do on the video. And I didn't like the way something looked back there. So, kismet, it just happened. I'm still tweaking it, but anyway, when I came in here and I was doing that, I saw that Dietz was live, and my God, I don't know if the whole show was what I rolled up on. I have a feeling it was, but wow, I was just like, oh my God. And then I picked up again a few hours later, and we've all had this happening where she was still live. I want to say it was close to, God, I think it was close to 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. So when I picked up on my device that I was listening on before, which was the iPad, I got another, it was just a few minutes, and all of a sudden, boop, gone. I was like, no, bring it back. I want to finish. So when I got up this morning and Laura's live thumbnail came up in my feed, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know I was going to get to listen to some of the now gone rage stream from Betty. Y'all, I swear to God, I was this close to giving that bitch $50. Then I'm like, no, somebody will have it. And I don't want to give that bitch 50 cents. Never mind $50. Okay, carrying on. Hey, Kathy Peas, how are you? Cutie Pie 509, good afternoon. Crazy Nurse in the house. Deanna, how are you? Heather B. Beachy, Lily. Lee. 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 Laughs. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I appreciate that. There we go. Refresh. Denise, how are you? Literally Davis fam. Good afternoon. Runs with scissors. Oh, is it true? I heard that we're going to be hearing blank screen. I am very much looking forward to that. And I'm subbed to blank screen. So, but listen, we know the YouTube notification system sucks. So, let me tell you, their notification system sucks so bad that when I see something in the feed that I really want to make sure I'm able to listen to when they go live, I have to actually put it in my phone and schedule it in my calendar like an event. What can I say? YouTube, get your shit together. Scrolling. Hey, TT the Good Tiffany, how are you? Daz, oh, thank you so much. Nice to see you. SoFlo, I'm not going to read that out loud in case your husband's listening. Yes, you're happy. Of course you are. Holy dustbin. Oh, Pamela Anderson's got a show called VIP. You know what? I like her. I never watched Baywatch because, like, why would I? That was for dudes. But that documentary that Netflix did, I think it was Netflix, that they did on her. Oh God, I tell you what, I think she's only slightly older than me. And I was surprised. I hadn't seen her in a long time, and I just was surprised. But I like her. I like her personality. So I'll have to check that out. I didn't know she had a show. Oh, but Holy Dustbin, that fabulous intro was done by Menace to Sobriety. He also did the first one, which is what's tacked on to the end of the new one. Oh shit. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to balance everything on this this agenda sitting in my lap, and it's. Hey Lurker, how are you? Hi Julie, nice to see you. Queen Bella, how are you? Oh God, I love Home Goods so much. So much. That's one of those places. I try and stay out of the lion's den. I swear to God, my shopping habit is truly one of the very real, and I'm not even kidding. This YouTube channel, for all of the things I really hate about this place, there are definitely some things that's a check mark in the positive side of the balance sheet. Yes, it occupies so much of my time and attention that, if I come in here, well, so you figure about an hour in the morning, getting ready, finding something to wear. Then I usually do one of those videos. Then I come in here and do a live, which is anywhere between 2 and I don't even want to go to 3 hours, but realistically speaking, anywhere between 2 and 3.5 hours. By the time I get out of here, I'm, have to pay attention to things I didn't do earlier in the morning. I find that it really does help take enough of my time that I'm not so busy sitting on the iPad watching, whatever's on. I asked myself the other day, why in the hell am I subscribed? This is on my list. I need to take care of this. I am subscribed to Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Discovery, which is now HBO Max. I mean, it's absurd. Ask me how many of those I watch. Almost none. Yeah, I've got to. I need to post a picture, SoFlo, of something that was at my Home Goods the other day. It was, I don't know if any of you know who is it it's called Catherine's, and I think it's Catherine's Collections, and she makes really cool ornaments, tchotchkes, and Home Goods had a huge Catherine's collection, like a witch. She had her hands like this with these two bowls that came off the hands, so you don't have to use those bowls. That's just what they had on there. I'm trying to think how to give you an idea of how big this thing was, because you don't get the scope of it in the picture, but I'm going to post it on my community wall. Think about like maybe a small side table with a round glass top, slightly bigger than that. And it was $500. I'm like, $500 Halloween tchotchke, but it was super cute. But they had the giant, y'all, I have a family member who does Halloween, like, and I'm not kidding you, it rivals what you see at we have a lot of them here in Florida, places that'll open up, usually there's a lot of property and they'll open up, just a couple times a year. Halloween's their big one, where they will do a huge themed Halloween interactive type of a deal, kind of like like Universal Studios. They have one. I forget what they call theirs, but there's a theme every year. What my family member does, I am telling you, it is amusement park, theme park worthy. And people come every year. And people wait for this thing. This year, she is actually, I don't know what the theme is yet. She is doing, food trucks are going to come, and they'll have their whole setup, and every kid, and it's not just the kids, every kid and every adult in the neighborhood will be there. And then the food trucks will be like around the cul-de-sac. I'm very much looking forward to it. But she's got all that shit, all the, the giant. She actually one year did, I forget what the movie was called, but she had a seamstress make the character from that movie, make the exact costume. I'm talking stem to stern. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. It takes like 2 days to set it up. Not quite as long to take it down, but it's getting to the point where it's so big and so involved that if she keeps doing it, at some point she'll have to start paying people to, because it's just getting too big. But it's always fun. Hey, Marcy, how are you? Hi, Brittany. Oh, Brittany, fathering autism. Yeah, that guy's such a douche. I can't stand him. I haven't forgotten about that, and we do need to. I would love to talk about him. Hey, Fairy Meadows, how are you? Lurker, don't you worry. I don't care how you're listening. Driving, dog walking, showering, cooking. I don't care. I'll take it any way I can get it. We're almost, y'all, I said that and hey, Striker Force, how are you? All right, I'm going a little faster, you guys. Going a little faster. Hey, True Texan, how are you? Elaine, good afternoon. Hey, Mama Bear, it's nice to see you. Fit and Kirby, good afternoon. Been dreaming. Hey, how are you? It's nice to see you. The good Allie Sin. Oh, I love that name. The good Allie Sin. I swear, some of you are so incredibly clever with your screen names. Deanna, I think I said hi. Hi again. Oh, it just keeps refreshing. Hi, Amy. How are you? Julie, I think I said hi. Hi again, or hi the first time. Oh, crazy nurse. I don't know how to, I think to do a poll, like the kind you're used to seeing, you have to do it through Facebook Live or something. And I don't do Facebook. I think blank screen is a man. And the age, I couldn't even, I'm just going to say probably roughly around the same age that most of us are. So, 25. Oh, look, we have royalty in the house. Savage Live Media. It's taken me so damn long to get to her comment. She's probably gone by now. Girl, did you see me reviewing Richard? You know what's hilarious, Savage? I had no idea that video, there's only a couple Richard videos on here. And that one that I did, I had no idea he was going to talk about the time that you invited him over and, you thought that he had opened up the door to the minivan and unleashed the bubonic plague on. And when he said that, I died. I was like, oh my God. Oh, Savage. Yes, you've got it. Okay. You know what? I have not been able to check anything. I forgot to do it this morning. So when I get out of here, I am absolutely will check my notifications. You and I need to do a review of some kind of like Richard. We don't have to do him, but something along those lines. I think it would be hilarious. Hey, Okie Crime News, how you doing? Oh, I can't wait. Savage, I was looking for that parody of Pirate on Saturday. I was telling the people in the chat, I'm like, oh God, I like Pirate playing Richard way better than I like just Richard being Richard. But I will absolutely. Okay, should we start a support group? Listen, something good has to come from this dump. So we might as well start a support group for those that are using YouTube as a distraction from an unfortunate, personal downfall. Oh, Mama Bear Ulta. You know what? I have a Sephora and an Ulta. The Sephora is not so close. When I say not so close, I mean 30 minutes or more. There's an Ulta much closer. They piss me off so bad. They hire a bunch of young girls who give a good goddamn about anything. They're all they're busy doing is like, oh girl, did you see this? We got like a case of them in the back. Oh yeah, no, we don't. No, we don't need to fuck around with putting them, where they're supposed to be. No, none of this shit matters. Oh, listen, girl. When some bitch shopping in here comes up and says, "Do you have any blah, blah, blah," because there's none in the spot? No, fuck that. You don't need to go get them out of the back. But when you do, make sure you put them like in the complete wrong place, and then look at her like she's got three heads when the stupid bitch asks you where they are. That sums up our Ulta. They're horrible. They are. I mean, at least where I am, there is no comparison between Ulta and Sephora. But Ulta, the way I look at Ulta, for me, it's a necessary evil sometimes. Boy, I'm going off on so many tangents. Oh, Savage, have you tried High Noon? I used to drink White Claws when I do drink, which is very rarely. But my sister-in-law turned me on to High Noon, and they're really good. They're quite a bit more money than White Claw, and I don't know why, but I like them. All right. Well, that's a new name. Brynja Fjord. Are you one of our friends to the north in Scandinavia? I'm sorry. I'm sure I butchered your name. Hi, Chris Cress. Hey, Nonsense. How you doing? Wise Angel. I think I'm going to put. Do you think I should put Wise before my name? Wise Crimes and Fashion. Oh, Betty would be wise if the bitch would take me up on my offer. We could get her dressed. We could fix her up. I could get her Tinder or Grinder ready. I mean, like I said, I don't have a wand, but I already gave her a gift card for that dating profile writer, and maybe Emmy. I don't know. Emmy might agree to brush up on her English grammar skills with her. Hey, Clancy, how are you? Long time no see. I hope you've been good. All right, y'all. Now I'm running. Okay, finally. All right. Well, let's just get this party started. For those of you who don't know, I've mentioned this several times, but it bears repeating. Back during the Quinn Simon debacle, which I'm sure everybody remembers that. Hey, Mick Mama, how you doing? And if you don't remember that, well, my goodness, you should count yourself as very blessed. But back then, interestingly enough, my channel was just about the same size it is right now, give or take. And I think I had, and probably I'd been on the same amount of time as my guest, give or take. And as I sit in this chair, it feels like 10,000 years. It's probably in reality been more like 7 or so, give or take. So back during the Quentin Simon debacle, it wasn't day one of those absolute disgusting dirtbags out there raising hell, carrying on, just representing the very worst that humanity has to offer, outside of the penal system. And I said penal system, not penis system. But one day, because back then, when that was going on, I assure you there were two sides and two sides only. Those who were out behaving like absolute degenerate scumbags with or without bullhorns, and those who thought it was a great thing. And then the rest of us, the normal ones, who were just absolutely like dumbfounded that people would do that to that extreme. The entire neighborhood was turned upside down. Y'all get it. So I had done a live and I left my office. I went out in the kitchen. I made myself something to eat. I started thinking and I was like, I cannot believe how disgusting this place is. How, like, I still feel that way. But I'm sitting here watching people just behave in a depraved manner. And they are getting so incredibly rewarded for it. Subs, financially. They were actually even getting people, other scumbags from the community. Oh, well, who knows if they even were from the community? I don't know. Other morons who thought it was a good idea to go join them. Like it was a tailgate party. And all because some moron got it in her bleach-eaten head that the woman inside that house, both women inside that house, were responsible for what at the time was still the disappearance of that baby. Now, obviously, law enforcement came out and said that Leilani was, hey, Dis, how are you? It's nice to see you. That Leilani was, the prime suspect. Okay, I get that. But that's a long way from a jury of one's peers. And I assure you, none of the jury members or any of the people in that courtroom are carrying a bullhorn. I mean, there's one with a gavel who runs the show. But so based on some really scummy people who have no morals or ethics and who are willing to utterly debase themselves, all in the name of content, there was nothing more to it. There really wasn't. I mean, obviously, what I did, which was walk in my office, go to the studio, and I did the equivalent of taking a gas can and pouring it all over my channel. And I kind of like Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale. Was that Waiting to Exhale? Where she took her cheating husband's, all his shit, put it in his Mercedes, poured gas on it, threw the match, and strutted her sexy ass self. Walked right away from it while it was just burning in the background. While looking mighty fine in a trench coat, I might add. Oh, Betty, you should get a trench coat, girl. You are Inspector Gadget. Don't you need a trench coat? She needs a trench coat and a little hat. God knows she needs a hat for any number of reasons, not the least of which is she's the damn, she's the real life female Inspector Gadget. So she needs a trench coat. She needs a hat for all time. I just love it when, one thing can be used for any number of occasions. And I think we should get our magnifying glass too. Didn't Inspector Gadget have a magnifying glass? Oh, Carmen Santiago. I think she looks more like Inspector Gadget though. So yeah, I was just like, and I don't want anybody to think it was just all about that. It was not. I had, everybody knows if you're in this dump long enough, you know what goes on here. So, but before I get to that, the only thing I really want to say about, because what I have to say is not about this whole situation of the last several days with, you know, Bash, Emmy, Eileen. Queen Bee was not really, she was on the fringes of it. But here's what I am going to say about that. I listened to Deets for, I already said, I didn't get to listen to it all, but I listened to enough. And then I heard some of it on Laura's. And there was somebody else I listened to as well that had clipped some parts. I don't remember who it was. And I heard a lot of this. Well, actually, before I get to that, I'm just going to say this, and this is going to be my thoughts on it. This is going to be my statement, and I'm standing on it. And I don't give a shit who likes it and who doesn't like it. If you are a supporter of Queen Bee, hey, Hippie Borium, how are you? Happy birthday, girl. I did hear that. Wasn't yesterday your birthday? I heard somebody wishing you happy birthday. So happy belated birthday from Grimes and Fashion. So if you're a Queen Bee supporter, or even if maybe you're not particularly a fan of Queen Bee, but you cannot stand Betty, so you're a supporter in that way. Well, let me just make it a little easier instead of all that. If you do not want to see Betty prevail in any way, shape, form, or fashion, not one motion, not one pleading, not one hearing, etc. I heard, just in the time that I listened, I heard multiple people. Well, let me say this first. If you resemble what I just said, it is not helping anything for all the people that get up and go on this panel, that panel, the other panel, unless you have been asked to or given the green light to go up and opine on legal matters without any legal expertise, because let's remember, Betty has all of that, okay? So nobody else, if there's not enough legal know-how and expertise to go around, okay? Betty's got it all. So if you're not Betty and you don't want to see that wretched, soulless bitch prevail in any way, shape, form, or fashion, unless you have been asked to be the personal mouthpiece and representative for Queen Bee, I am telling you, as someone who, much like Betty, has some, I did go to school to be a paralegal. I've already said I worked for a very short period of time. It was not my career. Had I been in a different practice, it probably would have. I kind of, where I started, I didn't care for it. And it just, life happened and it was zig or zag. And I took the road less legally traveled. But I can assure you, I probably have more, and I have a very small, cursory understanding of things legal. Probably more than the average bear running around here. But of course, they all think they know everything. But I would never sit up here and say, I heard some of the dumbest shit. Here's something I heard repeatedly. And I have a newsflash for all of you that said this or think this. I heard a lot of, there's not one thing that anybody can do that's going to make Betty be able to prove her lawsuit. Queen Bee's going to win, period. End of story, no matter what. Well, you know what? In a perfect world, yes, very much. I think all of Betty's case is complete and utter bullshit. But I can promise you, I heard people making statements like that I know for a fact don't have as much legal know-how or knowledge as I do. And I don't say that because I'm fucking Betty. I'm not sitting up here like, I know the law. I have a legal education. No, I'm just stating a fact. And it's a very foolish and dangerous thing to do because it makes other people who, oh, well, I like that person, so if they said it, well, then that must be right. You never know what a judge or a jury is going to do. Now, obviously, a judge has to apply the law, but newsflash, a lot of the law is subjective. And, well, let me say, what I probably should have said is applying the facts of the case to the law. Well, and if anybody doubts what I'm saying, back in the day, there was this guy named O.J. Simpson. I mean, clearly this is not O.J. But I tell you what, I bet to the litigants, it may as well be. So that's all I have to say about it. Unless you have been designated, it is a very dangerous thing for, and listen, let me also say that I believe all the people, well, most of the people had nothing but the best intentions and think they're doing a good thing. And it doesn't matter ultimately what I think. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's a dangerous thing. Because, like I said, here's the thing that's lost on people, and what people don't seem to keep in mind. We know Betty, okay? we all know how that bitch operates way more than we ever wanted to know. Do you actually think, for all of you people that are sitting back going, oh, there's just no possible way X, Y, or Z could ever happen. Queen Bee's got this on lock. I certainly hope that's the case. And I happen to think that this is an absolute folly on the part of the one who filed it. However, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So it's very irresponsible for all these different people to be going here, there, and everywhere and telling everyone how, and I understand this was because of what happened with the whole, we need a new something gate. What should we call this? Joke gate, search gate. Damn it, stop. Oh. God, that's so irritating. And I don't say that because because I'm trying to be flippant about it. I say that because that's what it is. So that's it. That's all on that. I truly hope that, because let's face it, this is going to be like all things YouTube. This will die down. And I guess all I can say to Bash, who I know, no doubt, is going through it, I'll say to her this. Here's the good news. If you can show a dead child's autopsy photos and sell them for $3, or sell access to viewing said photos for $3, have the worldwide media call you out, everybody on YouTube, and she's still here, this too shall pass. That's all I can say. I mean, and the rest of what I have to say is going to all just be general observations, or none of it is going to be specific to that whole shit show. That has been talked into the ground. It's been beat into the ground, and I'm not looking to add to it. So I will repeat what I said about that particular matter a minute ago, and then we're moving on from there. If you care about the outcome of this lawsuit going Queen Bee's way and having that fucking tyrant Betty sent a message from the court, and I heard somebody say something and I just shook my head. Here's a perfect example of how things are stated, but the chance of that, here's what I heard, and I don't remember who said this, and actually I think it was somebody that I like very much that I heard say it, but nonetheless, I heard someone say, I hope that the judge will, see it for what it is, which, remember, the judge there's very few mofos rolling around Karama that are able to play judge. I can think of a very couple, and it's probably the same ones you're thinking of. Most of us have an opinion already, because we have a much bigger knowledge base about Betty. This judge, his sole job, his profession is to be objective, an uninterested third party. The jury determines the guilt or innocence based on the facts. The judge will apply the law to the facts of the case. So the judge is not sitting there with years of her bullshit. And if any of you think for a hot second that this judge is going to be getting a PhD in Betty and is going to watch all Betty's videos, he is not. The judge is going to go by the motions, by the hearings, by the evidence. So And let's not forget, they always, I told you guys this when this started. Judges, number one, everybody in that courtroom, the real professionals, which is everybody except fucking Betty, they hate pro se litigants. It makes everything take longer because they give a pro se litigant a wide berth. Because they know while she is tasked with and held to the same legal standard as an attorney, because they can't help it that she's too fucking dumb or broke to hire an attorney. She's, in her delusional thought process, she is an attorney. That bitch is waiting her whole life for this walk-on role. I mean, she actually said and wrote down, I'm opposing counsel because I'm pro se. Bitch, you are not opposing counsel. You are a dumbass pro se litigant who is the adversary of the real attorney and his client on behalf of his client. His client's smarter than your client. So when I hear somebody say something like this is absurd, and I promise you, I don't even think the judge has the authority to do this. And like I said, bear in mind, whoever it was that said this, I'm pretty sure this is someone I like a lot. And this is the quote, and I'm might be slightly paraphrasing, but I promise you I got the gist of it. I hope, it was something along the lines of, we don't want to do anything that could cause Queen Bee to not be able to prevail in her lawsuit. And of course, you got the other ones that are going, oh, there's no way, it doesn't matter, this, that, the other. There's no possible way that Betty's going to win, blah, blah, blah. And while you're a fool if you think that this is on 100% lockdown and we're all just going through formalities here. I mean, yes, I do believe that is the case, but would I be stupid enough to sit on an open panel and tell all of everybody listening that there's no possible way? People who speak in absolutes when they don't really have a basis to do it, that's never a good thing. Smart people don't do that. So here's the quote. We don't want to see anything done that could cause Queen Bee to, I'm sure it was a lot of things, incur more fees. Absolutely. Ellipsis, ... What we're hoping will happen is Betty loses spectacularly, and here's the important part, and that the judge will make his ruling with prejudice so she can never do this again. Remember what I just said about absolutes? I'm telling you right now, there is no way in hell that judge is doing any such thing. Do you know what kind of bar you have to hurdle over to be deemed a vexatious litigant? Think JLR. And even that, it was explained to us that he is barred from serving or from suing within that system that he was already in because of everything he filed while he was in prison on the public dime. So that judge does not have, Betty is not, well, she is under his jurisdiction now because that's where it was filed. But I promise you, that judge does not, there is no way in hell that judge is going to do any such thing. That is so incredibly rare for something like that to be done. That is saved for the most egregious cases. And while we can't stand that bitch and think everything she does is egregious, if you think that in the scope and scheme of what this judge has spent a career, because I'm quite certain he was probably a prosecutor before he landed on the bench. And then oftentimes they become, I mean, the kind of natural course of an attorney's career, they're not all the time, but the career track typically goes something like this. You graduate law school, you get a job working with the public, you know, either as a prosecutor or a public defender, because you need the experience. That's where all good attorneys make their bones, so to speak. And then, of course, there's a very small majority that, you know, they're in it to put bad guys away. They're not in it for the money. Well, they typically spend a career in, you know, being an assistant state's attorney or a district attorney. I think it's different in different places. Sometimes prosecutors become defense attorneys. You know why? Because they're the ones who make the money. So that's kind of how it goes. So I would imagine the judge has been, at the very least, either a state's attorney, an assistant state's attorney, or a public defender, possibly. Here in Florida, judges are appointed and they are retained on merit at the ballot box. I don't know how it works there. Sofa King, yeah. And honestly, I swear to God, as I sit here, my hand to God, I cannot remember who said that. But I do know that it was definitely somebody I like very much. So while I know that anybody who speaks, we know who doesn't particularly. The overwhelming majority of people I heard, not only were they very much, you know, they liked Quimby, they were supporters of her. Across the board, everybody, whether they supported her or not, they supported Betty going down in flames. That's what they supported. So if that's what everybody wants, I would prevail on you. Unless you are specifically asked to do it, and that could be, I don't know. And if what I just said was said on behalf of QB as like a, you know, a statement from her being put forth by someone else, then listen, y'all, I don't have a problem apologizing when I'm wrong. But in general, it is not smart what people are doing, okay? It's just not. And I would urge you. I mean, talking about the legal documents, that's public record. As long as you're not doing, you know, you're not interpreting, as long as you're not playing the role of Betty. Okay, so that's that. We don't need to say any more about that. We've beat that into the ground. And honestly, I heard a lot of what I heard being said, while in a perfect world, yes, that's exactly the way everything works. Anybody who's watched any kind of case knows there have been so many. Sometimes things don't happen the way they should or the way we want. And please don't anybody interpret that to me. I do not think, I share the thoughts that many people were saying. That's all I'll say. But I will never sit in this chair and definitively say, there's no possible way, but it's not going to happen. You're not going to get that from me, because that's a foolish thing to assert. we hope that that is absolutely correct, but to say that it could never happen, I'm sorry, I beg to differ. Okay, now, in a more general sense, all of this, I'm sitting back and I'm listening to everything, and the reason I started talking about when I blew my channel up before, well, that's because over the last few days, and not because of this situation, but there's, other things that are leading up to it. And just like you know yourself, I know myself. And I was very close to having a Swan song, part, volume 2, part whatever. As in, y'all, I've divorced husbands who've caused me less aggravation and stress than you two. So I feel very blessed and fortunate that I don't have to be here. I don't rely on this place for anything except as a way for me to, just spend some time in ways that maybe play to some of my strengths and save me some money. Of course, it costs me money too, because I'm not doing things that pay me money while I'm playing on YouTube. But I'm going to post this. So let's just say that I'm starting to get that feeling where it's like, what? I mean, I say this to myself all the time. What exactly? Like, why am I here? What is this for? I think I just told you what the pluses are. So on the positive side of the balance sheet for me, it keeps me out of the mall. It keeps me off of my, yeah, it probably would be better for my mental health just to find like a shopping support group, Shoppers Anonymous. But here's another plus. I do very much, the thing that keeps me here, and that is the one saving grace of this place, but of course there's a dichotomy to this too, is the fact that I really do enjoy it, more than I enjoy this, is the chats. I really like that. I love to talk to people, and interact. So, and that's the main thing that keeps me here. But over the past several weeks, I've definitely been doing, anytime things happen, I note it. So I just have some general observations I'm going to make based on the last time I was here. And when I was gone for, okay, so Quentin Simon, I actually think it might have been, wasn't it close to this time of the year? I know this. I still kept in contact with 2 people while I was not here. Well, it was 3, but two much more than the other one. And one of whom she is still not here. She's never come back. And I very much, in fact, I've talked to her twice this week. And I can remember that I was not here Halloween. I was not here Thanksgiving. I was not here Christmas. So let's just say I took a probably 3.5 month sabbatical, maybe no more than 4 months. And even now that I've come back, I still take multiple consecutive days off of this place. I could not. I absolutely could not be here every day, balls to the wall, and maintain my sanity. I could not. Some people really thrive on this chaos. Now, had this been 20 years ago, oh, I'd have been running this place. I can assure you of that. Because believe me when I tell you, I hold myself back a lot. Kind of like discretion is the better part of valor. Well, knowing when to shut this and open these, is something that, if you're lucky, well, if you're incredibly blessed, you've been like that from the beginning. I was not. For me, that was something that came later in life. So, and some people never get it. Ooh, look at Betty. But as I've been reflecting on the last time I was here, which was the only time, and since I've been back here. So a couple things have occurred to me. And I think maybe because I don't watch the news, but my husband does. And, we're getting ready to go into an election year. And, elections are now just like Christmas at Home Goods. A president serves a 4-year term. Well, about, 6 months into office, they start campaigning, it seems. So something occurred to me just today. And I was like, you know what? This dump. And when I talk about this place and this dump and this, I'm referring to Krama, which is where I was the last time. And I can tell you, when I came back here, the very first video I made, I said, I'm going to do things different. I'm not going to be talking about X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do more of the fashion. Blah, 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 blah. And that lasted about, I don't know, maybe 2 more episodes. But that, I'm going to address why that is a little further down the notes. But it occurred to me that this place, Krama, which my husband, thank God, he repeatedly tells me. Well, there's a couple things that he tells me. Number one is, honey, that fucking cesspool that you're rolling around in, that is an absolute teeny tiny little speck of YouTube. He laughs about the fact that my husband's like a lot of other people who have nothing to do with this part of YouTube. He watches people who've got millions of subs. He laughs at this. He's like, so there's that. He tells me that. And then the other thing he says all the time is, I don't know why you want to fuck around with that. There is nothing good there. He said, everything about that place is just so incredibly negative. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And he is. But be that as it may. So I thought, you know what? This place, this is just like politics. The people aren't usually as wealthy, as smart, sometimes not as aesthetically pleasing. Uh, and I'm talking, listen, I'm talking about everybody. I'm not just saying, I mean, I'm talking about everybody that inhabits this place, this space, myself included. I mean, we know we have everything that runs the spectrum here. We have some of the dimmest bulbs I have ever had the misfortune of being exposed to, like Betty. And that's my opinion. I think she's a dumbass. I base that opinion on nothing more than what she has said and done and shown. And then all the way up to very, very, very bright and accomplished people. And, you know, I'm sure where most of us fall, right in the middle, your average people. So think of all of us creators as we're the candidates. The subs, you all, you're the equivalent of elections. We're all like trying to get your vote, except instead of, you know, voting us into office, your vote is subbing to our channel. The clip channels, well, they're like the mainstream media, or like the reporter Betty wishes she was. Videos like I made this morning, and anybody who does videos rather than lives, well, think of those kind of like campaign ads. That's to kind of get you to come and listen to us give a stump speech. The mods and the managing mods, well, they're the campaign staffers and the campaign managers, respectively. And then the lives, these are like debates. Hold on a minute, y'all. I gotta shut my office door. Honey, I'll shut my door so you don't have to. I could hear my husband out there trying to be quiet. Bless his heart. Oh, damn it. Okay. Yeah, y'all, what's so just, oh, it just vexes me all the time. To do this place, I think when I say succeed, don't necessarily think of that in the oh God. Hold on a minute. Oh, look at Dolly, you always come here to hate Bond. Well, Savage was here just a little while ago. She probably would have you know, taken you up on that offer. So when I say succeed, don't necessarily just look at that in the strictest sense of the word. But I think to really succeed here, you know, and obviously that means something different to everybody. So let me try and maybe quantify that a little bit. Okay, so let's say this. To succeed, to get a decent sized channel, but even more than the numbers of your subs, think more in terms of this. To get people who are really invested in you and who will roll hard for you. Ride or dies, we'll just say. Dolly, you don't like my backdrop. Did you notice my, wait a minute. Is it, I know it's always reversed. That always throws me. Can you see my shoe boxes back there? I'm sure I'm pointing in the wrong direction. It's behind my right shoulder, but I'm pretty sure I have to point with this one. Well, you should like those. I mean, I know you're a fan of shoes. My shoes, anyway. To get people to do all the things I just mentioned, and remember, I'm just talking about this particular hood. I'm not talking about places that I don't know anything about. Here's one of the dichotomies of this place. What makes this place run is personality, ego, and money. That's what drives this place. That is also what makes this one of the most dysfunctional places on YouTube. Because those things bring out the worst in people. And, oh shit, sorry. There's a shelf on this chair. I don't know why. I constantly put my heel on there, and 5 times out of 10 it lands, and then the other 5 I'm like, kind of like when I was running in here and I fell. So I always think that, and this, how's this for irony for you? At least that's how I see it. This place is chess. And a lot of the people that are, let's just say, succeeding, I assure you, they know nothing about chess. They're playing checkers or they're playing tiddlywinks. It is very much a team sport, while at the same time requiring that you need to form alliances, because there's no friends here, okay? Not in my experience, and not that I've ever seen. You know, is that to say that I don't think anybody on here has formed a genuine friendship with someone else on here? No, that's not what I'm saying. I am saying that you have to think very strategically to sell yourself, cultivate not just a following, but I mean, from where I sit, the smartest or the most strategic, we'll say. Well, a lot of times you can just sit back and other people will do all the work for you. And, you know, work comes in all kinds of fashions. So you have to be able to be approachable, sell yourself, get people to invest in you. And let's face it, the reason most of us do that, the reason most of us connect to other people is because we see something in them that we can relate to, or maybe we resemble. But at the same time, you got to do all that. You got to get it. You have to assemble a team. Team being your subs. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, everybody is looking out for number one. And I mean, obviously, if you're not going to look out for yourself, who will? But you can't let the team know that that is really what it's about. And listen, people come in. Well, let's just say I'm pretty sure that everybody has had someone who wants to get close to them or who is close to them. And and listen, I'm just telling y'all real talk. This is just my experience. And I don't have any reason to lie. Different people are around for different reasons, different seasons. Some people are around because of money, and you'll overlook. I mean, I'm not speaking in my case because I don't ask for money. I don't care who does. I'm just saying, for me, that's not a factor. I don't. And I have to say, if anybody thinks that, well, I'll speak for myself. While I would definitely agree that it is, I would much rather sit in a chair and blah, 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 and talk and make a buck that way than I would go working for the state of Florida, mowing interstate or county road medians when it's 237 degrees out in the middle of August. Yeah, put me on. Yeah, give me the microphone. However, at least when you're out there sweating your ass off mowing medians, you don't have to play all these games to make a paycheck. Like, it's just going to be there at the end of the week. You show up, you do the job, you get paid. Here, yeah, you can sit in the air conditioning, and I guess you can put as much or as little effort into your channel as your subs demand and make a buck. But, obviously there's no guarantees at all. I mean, you don't know if you're going to make, I don't know what people make, but let's just say you don't know if you're going to make $1,000 a day or if you're going to make $1,000 a month. So there's that. And even more importantly than that, when you're at your job, all you have to do is what your job expectation, your boss tells you to do. Mow that median. Be here at 7 in the morning. You clock out at 6 in the morning. You get an hour for lunch. You work Monday through Friday. You get, I don't know. What do people get for personal time? 10 days? You get 10 days a year of freebies. Paid time off, I guess. I don't know. Here, I dare say very few people in here have any idea what is going to happen from one day to the next. If it's a slow news cycle here on YouTube, well, you know where I think Bash went wrong? And this is just my opinion, which means jack shit all. I think what I said to someone, for me, the joke that was between two people, listen, I don't know Bash outside of YouTube at all. Never spoken to her outside of YouTube. And I've only talked to her a couple times on YouTube. She seems like a very nice lady. I would be lying if I sat in this chair and I said, I have never made a joke like that to a friend about another friend. Oh, come on. I have. We have all done it. So to me, of the whole thing, that was the least, but that's easy for me to say because I wasn't the subject of any of it. But I'm just saying, as someone looking from the outside in, had it been me, the joke I wouldn't have cared about because I don't believe for 1 minute that she is actually going to do any of that. I don't think she ever meant she was going to support Betty in the lawsuit. Here's what I would not have done. I would have never gone there because I just think it's dangerous. It's just, and you know what's so interesting? This is why I like to listen to a lot of other people talk about something before I throw my 2 cents into it. Because if we're being honest, all of us, especially on here, things happen so quickly and responses come so quickly that a lot of the times we are strictly speaking from emotion and nothing else. And that takes us right back to that, team sport. Oh, fuck her. I'm team QB all the way. Or now fuck her. I'm team Betty all the way. So one thing that I thought after that, I hadn't thought of at first, but after listening to people, it was something I said, oh, okay, well, I hadn't thought of it that way before. What I said when I heard about all this is, well, what I hadn't thought of it as until I heard other people say this, and it's very legit and it's true. As someone who has spoken out against tragedy pimping, as Bash has, and me, to then turn around and go to that place with the intention of covertly, I think whatever the first intention was, which was, to film Betty in her natural habitat, I guess. And then there was a change of heart and there was a new purpose for being there. I'm not here to discuss any of that. It's not my business. What I thought of, but I had not thought about it in the respect that I heard several other people say, which was, isn't that just Bash doing exactly what she has spoken out against with Betty and whoever else she's, Dolly. And I don't know who else Bash is I'm so sorry, y'all. Let me just look at this. My damn phone is blowing up. And here I thought this could have been something important. You want to know what it was? All that dinging. Number one, Pony-O. That's a place that, oh yes, when I used to have an Instagram shopping habit. My God, find me something I have not bought on Instagram. That's why I'm not on Instagram anymore. Okay, so Pony-O, that's a place that makes ponytail holders on Instagram. Okay, yeah. Barefoot Dreamers. That's the place that makes the fabulous blankets and whatnot. And then the other one was, that was personal. Yeah, when I found out about all this and I heard what was said, for whatever reason, that was not my immediate thought, was you're being a hypocrite because this is what you have spoken against or exposed where Betty's concerned. But hearing other people, yes, I would agree. That is correct. But that wasn't what I thought. Here's just the couple things that I thought. First and foremost was, and listen, I'm saying this as someone who joked around with Bash at multiple times. When I heard that Betty was going to Tennessee, and she had said leading up to this that she was thinking about going, or maybe was that a different time? I don't know. But at any rate, I myself joked around and said, don't worry, I got bail money for you. Was I serious? No. Now, my very first thing that I thought when I heard about all this was, oh my God, I cannot believe she went there. For me, that is it. I just think it's dangerous because you don't, and I'm not, and this is not even directed at Betty. This, I don't care who it was. I don't care if she was going to meet Chuckles the Clown. I personally, listen, I've never been in a fight in my life, and I don't plan on starting now. So number one, I thought it was incredibly just dangerous. Number two, I have to say, and I believe her when she said that the objective changed from, espionage, YouTube espionage, undercover. I believe what she said when the goal changed. I heard something that was said on another panel that was actually a clip. This was something that happened quite a while back. It's not my story to tell. I'm not talking about it. It involves Bash. As I sit in this chair, I absolutely 1,000,000% believe that once she talked to Layla's mother. Listen, she's been advocating for this family and for this young girl since this happened. She lives there. I didn't doubt it before, but after hearing a very personal experience in Bash's life, I totally believe that she very much did want to put all the other shit aside and search and make it about Layla. Here's where the problem comes in for me. Betty couldn't find her ass with both hands. So Betty's never found anybody. I don't know, like, I can totally get down and understand Bash just wanting to do it, to do something. Listen, if you follow these kinds of cases, I'm not big on missing persons cases for several reasons. Most people are helpless. There really isn't any much you can do. I mean, besides financially support the real searchers. Or, you could give Betty a unlimited Staples gift card so she could make all the fucking flyers in the world. Yeah. And of course, in true Betty form, I guess Betty wasn't satisfied with the FBI flyer. No, she could do it better. Of course. But be that as it may, so that's what they did. And then I also said, well, this is how I know that. Never mind. That'd be better placed elsewhere. I'll hold on to that one. Here's if I was sitting in Bash's shoes, and let's just assume everything I just said is exactly as it went down. Well, here's what Lisa would not have done. While I find it incredibly difficult to believe, I don't find it incredibly difficult to believe what Bash said, that Betty was quite nice, and I believe exactly what Bash said. I don't question her veracity in saying that at all. What I question is why? Because I understand we show what we want you to see, but what Betty shows us is, if Betty was an animal, well, she'd be part feral cat. Let's just say that if you are a person who is so wildly different in one place, which incidentally is not real life, if you are that drastically different in a pretend place than you are in your real life, well, I'm pretty sure they make medication for that. That's a new one. I mean, most people would be the opposite. Most people would try and put their best foot forward to this place where you're trying to cull subs and financial compensation, etc. So that's puzzling. But had it been me, and let's just assume all facts are the same. Let's just assume that, yes, Betty was lovely. It's everything Bash said. If it had been me, well, that's fine. I mean, everybody has a right to feel however they want to feel about someone else and basing it on their, real world interaction. I just know for me personally, I would not have, I wouldn't have shared that information with anyone. I'd have just kept that to myself. And I say that because of the fact that, Laura had a lot of valid points. Okay. And I very rarely, in fact, I have never caught Laura live, and I've never been in her chat. I think a lot of what she does is very late at night. I just happened to see it in the queue this morning. But she had a lot of points that were valid. One of which was, of course, people who support QB are like, kind of like discretion is the better part of valor. Warm and fuzzy feelings about someone who's a wretched, who, I'll even go this far, who portrays herself, which for the record, I don't believe it. I think that's her. I mean, do I think that Betty's never done or said a good thing in her life? No. I've said many times. I don't believe there's not one person on this platform that I would say is 100% bad. I wouldn't. I also would never say there's anyone that's 100% good. But to come out, especially after, to me, where it's the one and only thing I really see as, well, this is YouTube. I was going to say like a lasting negative effect from this for Bash would have been that it makes it a little harder to have, well, I was going to say credibility when portraying Betty, but Betty does all the work. So erase that. Never mind. So yeah, where I think Bash went wrong is sharing her thoughts with YouTube. And, you know, that may not be popular, what I just said. I don't give a shit. I don't care. That's the reality of it. I mean, I'm sure that's how most people felt. So it was an error. I am not going to sit here and listen. I have never made any secret of what I think of Betty. And every bit of what I think of Betty is based on only what Betty has shown us and her, you know, her very tangible legal history and involvement. So I don't know what else to say about it. So yeah, I'm going to say what a lot of you probably would like to say, but you won't for whatever reason. But I'm kind of, you know, some people think I identify with that, and I kind of do. But I promise you this, if there's anybody who thinks that I have ever unleashed 100% of what I think about 100% of things, I assure you I have not. Because, you know, I may not, hey, Jenny. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Sofa King, how you doing? I see, in terms of a successful YouTube channel, no, that will probably never happen. And I'll tell you why. Because I will not become a piece of shit on YouTube for the sake of a non-monetized channel to get, and that's not because I can't monetize, that's because I'm not interested. Don't need to. So it wouldn't be for money. It would strictly be in terms of, you know, subs. I mean, if y'all think that I do not have the formula or the recipe for at least how to really get that ball rolling, y'all, I'm so damn lazy. I don't even hashtag any of this shit. You know, I'll leave here. Hi, Elaine. How are you? Oh, Runaway Truth. That's a new name. Hi, welcome. I will leave my office, and usually a couple hours later when I'm watching TV, I'll say, damn, I need to do some hashtags on. and then it never happens. It's just, I'm not that dedicated to this. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't like to grow my channel. Of course I would. But what I'm not willing to do, what I've never been willing to do, and what I'm never going to be willing to do is completely become a duplicitous piece of shit and, just check the morals at the door. I know what people want. They want nonstop shit show drama. That's what they want. I got it. I got the memo. Something else I heard Laura say was something about, what they refer to as the OG drama community. She said that was very stressful. Well, my God, I mean, that was encouraging because, yeah, I would imagine it was. I would hate to not have the choice to blow this mofo up at any time that I wanted and throw the match and walk away just like I did before. And when it starts feeling like really grimy. Hi, Nicole. How are you? Hi, Kelsey. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Not everybody appreciates that. And I mean, I'm highlighting this comment, not just because it's, a shameless plug for me. I mean, it kind of is, but it's funny because even that's subjective. Like, what are facts to me, to somebody else is nothing but opinion. So, all right. So speaking of facts, here's just a couple things that, because I tell you what, I may be a shitty YouTuber. Nobody may want to listen to me because I don't know. Listen, like I said, I could make a list. All right. Unlike many people, I have plenty of self-awareness. I am very well aware of what my flaws are. Okay. I am also very well aware that this place is largely female driven. Dolly, I don't know if he's still blessing this chat with his presence, but he's like a unicorn. He's one of a handful of males in this space. There must be like 20,000 women to each male sub. I'm just pulling those numbers out of my ass. I mean, it's just a guess. But I am very well aware of, there are few things more vicious in this world than a jealous woman or a scorned woman. Women are by far, men are more violent physically. Women will downright make it their life's mission to fuck your life up. I mean, women will remember, like men, they'll just, knock the shit out of each other when the tension reaches a boiling point. Somebody throws a punch, somebody lands on the ground. Whoever put him on the ground typically puts his hand down, pulls him up, and then they go have a beer inside. Fuck that, women. We're going to burn your house down. We're going to key your car. We're going to flatten all 4 of your tires. And then we're going to stalk you for the rest of your natural life and make sure that you never have a moment's peace again. And I don't mean, I've never done that. I know most women. I don't mean to say that you know exactly what I'm saying. Hopefully not all women are like that. That's a very exaggerated, over the top female reaction to something. That's just kind of how it goes. So here's some things that just some thoughts that I put together based on, well, number one, and first and foremost, based on my life and my life experience. That being said, I do have to recognize and acknowledge the fact that YouTube, if you are if you have never crossed the aisle, like I would imagine most people have not, I mean, don't you think that I tend to feel like most of the YouTube users are consumers, not producers. So for those of us who have crossed the aisle from casual, I mean, I'd be shocked if every single person here did not start as a viewer. So when I say that the evolution that happens from this world where you're sitting on your couch doing like I was, going, oh my God, shut up. Oh God, I can't stand her. She's such a bitch. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. To then say, much like myself as well, oh my God, some of these people are so fucking dumb. My God, if they can do this, I can do it. I couldn't do any worse. And here we are. I would imagine that most people's YouTube experience has followed that trajectory, we'll just say. But when I tell you that if you are watching this and you're just a consumer of content, there's really there's just really nothing I could explain to you I can say this. I can tell you what it's not. And what it is not is it does not resemble anything like sitting on your couch and screaming at the TV does. It's not a matter of just, oh, well, I've got a phone and an internet connection. I'm a star. No, it's like this is an immersive experience. You have to immerse in it I maintain that. I mean, I just feel like nobody can fully appreciate what this is like until you do it. That's all I can say. I mean, that sums it up the best. Okay, but here are some things that I know about YouTube based on my life experience, my work experience, my time here, the last time and this time. And I have to tell you, I am in the same neighborhood. I'm in the same subdivision, slightly different street than I was before. Deanna, that's hilarious. Hobby Lobby my ass. No. I would like some Matthew Williamson wallpaper. And last I checked, there's a couple places in the UK that sell it, but I think you have to have a designer's number to get it. Yeah, no Hobby Lobby backdrops for Lisa. At least it's a damn real wall. Thank you very much. This is my real, just for people maybe who aren't aware, or I'm sure a lot of you know and don't give a shit, but maybe for people who are new. Oh, gosh, I didn't know my backdrop was so vexing to some people. Well, oh, sorry about your luck. This is my real home office. That is a very real wall that there's no, listen, I'm just trying to think of me attempting to use a green screen. That would be hilarious. And there would be no doubt that I was doing so. So that's a real wall. Those are real pictures. Everything behind me is very real. This is my home, and this is my home office. It's not my bedroom. Well, there is a closet in here, but it's not, this is my office, and it's where I do and when I was here before, this is where I did everything. Sorry, I am not that girl. I would think for reasons, just like Joan Crawford when that bitch died and they read the will. And in the words of Joan Crawford, for reasons which are very well known to her. Lisa, for reasons which are very well known to those of you who know anything about the internet. I'm not that person I don't do house tours. I don't do garage tours. I don't do closet tours. This is it. This is it. This is all. This is all you're ever going to get. Because this is just a part of my life. It's not my life. And, shockingly, there's a lot of very mentally unbalanced, unwell people rolling around this big old internet. And, I'm not looking to make their stalking professions any easier. All right, so here's some things I know. This is an incredibly toxic place. Sure, everybody's like, oh God, I hope this bitch's list is going to get a little more informative than this. Like, lady, we got the memo. We know. And yeah, while drama is, oh, what's in your purse? Oh my God, yes, we can do that. I'm writing that down. I love that. A shit ton of glitter, about 27 hair ties, multiple pens, probably only one of which works, a lipstick, a little bit of cash, a tape measure. Oh, I've got all kinds of shit in my purse. Okay. So when I said that when I came back here, here's the YouTube catch-22. Here's one of the many dichotomies about this place. What this place wants, what this place demands is drama. That's what it wants. That is what is rewarded. Incidentally, it's the most stress-producing. So when I came back here the second time and I said that I'm not going to talk about any of the stuff I talked about before, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, that was until the first time. And believe it or not, this might be surprising about me. I have very strong opinions on, pretty much everything. That's the kind of person I am. Not everybody is that way. I get it. But I'm someone I'm a very decisive person. Let's just say that. You know what's funny? I had a girlfriend that, how some friends in your life you do certain things with, or that's somebody you go to when, some friends are really good listeners. Some friends like to do the same things you do. It's good to have a variety of people if you can. Well, I had a girlfriend that one of the things that we did together was shop. In fact, I haven't seen her in a long time. And not because anything happened, but because we met when our kids were still young. Like, our kids are grown men now. So I haven't seen her in a while, but something we used to do was shop. And we could not have been more polar opposite. I'm somebody, I am very impulsive with purchases. And let's just say we spent 2 hours shopping. I'm the one who has to, Nordstrom has this one. I'm telling you, I sing the praises of Nordstrom all the time for multiple reasons. But one of the many wonderful things about Nordstrom is they have this fabulous like concierge desk where as you shop through the store, you don't have to schlep all your bags. You just ask the lovely salesperson if she'd please put it with the rest of your stuff and they scan it. And then when you go to leave, and yes, if you have a shit ton of bags, they absolutely will walk them to your car. And that's not just for me because I'm like a rock star. No, they'll do that for anybody. Listen, Nordstrom has the best customer service of all the stores. Well, and here's another Nordstrom. If you would like to sponsor me, listen, I know it's triple points right now in the Nordic Club, but you know, if you want to throw me another Betty, I would take it. Many people think that. Here's another reason I like Nordstrom. Unlike Saks and Neiman's, which for most people are like, no, most people can't and won't spend those kinds of prices on their shoe and clothing needs. And a lot of people mistakenly assume that Nordstrom is the same way. They are not. Nordstrom, depending on where you live, one of the best Nordstroms I've ever been to was in Chicago on Michigan Avenue. That's a fantastic Nordstrom. The bigger the market, the bigger the store. But even where I live, which is not a huge market, but it's decent size, Nordstrom has got, I mean, do they have Target prices? No, they do not. But I can tell you that some of the bigger Macy's or even Dillard's have many, there are brands that cross over. So if you think that there is nothing you can afford in Nordstrom, well, if you shop in Macy's or Dillard's even at, you know, I'm trying to think of what's a good example of a brand that they carry at all three. At any rate, don't just write Nordstrom off as completely unapproachable. Oh my God, holy shit. Oh my God, that's my sciatic nerve. Sorry. That shit is like electric shock. Oh God. Yeah, but so back to me and her. In a 2-hour time period, I would need the guy to help me to the car with the bags. She would agonize for 2 hours over, well, I don't know, shoes. And when I say shoes, don't think the kind of shoes I wear. No, never. And it wasn't even a matter of money. Like she could have bought whatever shoe she wanted. It wasn't like, oh, if I buy this, I'm not going to be able to pay my electric bill. No, she just couldn't make a fucking decision. So she'd see it. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that shoe. I'm like, buy the damn thing. Me, I'm the opposite. I'm like, yes, buy. When in doubt, buy. I kid you not, 9 out of 10 times, at the last minute before we were getting ready to leave, she'd buy it. And 9 times out of 10, she would text me within 2 hours of getting home, and it would say, I got home and I got to go back tomorrow. I'm returning it. I don't like blah, blah. Oh, God. Oh, Queen Bella, listen, I have back issue. I have back, neck, like from lumbar to cervical, I'm effed. But the sciatic that I have, oh my God, it's my hip. And that one, I mean, when it wants to get your attention, holy shit, it will get your attention like it just did. Okay, so things I know. Nothing in this place stays constant. Nothing. Just remember, everything's got a reason and everything's got a season. There are very little, if any, standards in here. And I don't mean, from you, I'm not talking about terms of service and things like that, because we know that, well, it's YouTube's sandbox and they make the rules. I think it sucks, but I would just say that YouTube is just like real life. The rules, I mean, if you're somebody who's still under the illusion that everybody's treated fairly and the rules apply to everyone, well, as is life goes YouTube. And it's not that way in life, even though it should be, but it's not. I like to deal in reality. And neither is YouTube. So yeah, there's nothing constant here. My goodness, this was rather sage wisdom on my part. Good God, I think this deserves a bang of the song bowl. YouTube has a very short memory of good deeds and a very long memory of bad. I don't make the rules. I'm just talking about them. Another thing I know is that this place has a way of, kind of like I said, that I would not, when I came back here, that I wasn't going to talk about XYZ. Well, it was a really good ideal, and it was a good thought. And I said ideal with an L. It was also a good idea. It was a good thought. It was a good aspiration. But it was entirely unrealistic as well, because here's where the theory diverges with the reality. When people know you for a certain thing, or for being a certain way, well, this place has a way of pigeonholing you. And while I'm not going to sell my soul to the devil to build a YouTube channel, I'm also not going to just completely waste all time and say, hi, I'm the one person who I'm not here to do anything except talk to myself. That's it. Like and there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, most people want to see some kind of return on investment. So this place has a way of dictating what you're going to be. We'll just say, because obviously we all completely control what we produce as content and how we behave. But people want what they want. And unless you're in the business of not giving people what they want, then you kind of have to give people what they want. And I don't know about all the other sides of YouTube. I tend to think it's probably not as hyper focused maybe as here, but it pigeonholes you. This is like omerta, blood in, blood out. I'm stealing this next one from Cappy. Sorry, at least I'm giving you credit, which is more than most people do when they rip off your brilliance. And she borrowed it from the Eagles. So from the Eagles to Cappy to now me, YouTube truly is the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave. And for as much as I really just hate this place, and I honestly, I say those words a lot, and I feel like that a lot. I'm also not crazy nurse. I might do that. That's what I need to do. I need to just start sprinkling it in. And I do. I have plans on doing that. But well, one thing at a time. But yeah, I understand that YouTube serves different purposes for all of us, and we're all looking for different things to get out of it. So there is no one size fits all. I can appreciate that, but I also know that this is just one particular. I can only speak to the part I know, and that is the case here. Go with the program or find a new program, kind of. I don't. Here's another thing I know. You know that expression, hurt people, which is very, very true. I agree. And jealous people say shitty things. I know that is also true. And I really try to, I mean, and then, you got the added problem. You know what's funny? I bet if you took the same creator, well, we'll say me, and you asked 10 random male creators, okay, I want you to watch, X amount of time, and then I want to know your thoughts. Tell me what do you not like about her? Or what are your problems with what you heard? Okay, so we're going to ask the men, and they're going to be in one room. And then we're going to do the same thing with 10 random women. Do we think that the lists between the two are going to resemble each other? I think there might be a few crossovers, but for the most part, I doubt it. And ladies, if you're single and, I don't know, doomed to always being so, like, I don't know, Betty, take heart, because I can tell you this. There is not a man alive that is as brutal on a female as another female is on a female. And then you, let's just say you take a couple females, or, let's just say that our little 10 random sampling, well, let's just say that maybe, we were talking about me. Okay, so we'll stick with me. Then maybe 10 rando women, let's just say that maybe they're very different than me for all kinds of reasons that, are maybe tangible things you can see, all the way to things that you have no fucking idea about. You're just assuming. Everything from soup to nuts, A to Z. Yeah, the green-eyed lady, she's very real. She's always been a bitch. That's why Well, that's why she's, stuck around from the beginning of time. And I can tell you this, the more secure a woman is, the less she needs to focus on either the petty, the absurd, or the things that you have no clue about. So, and I get it. Listen, everybody knows I've wrecked Betty for filth over her hair and her homeless looking appearance, but that's because she's a wretched, hateful bitch. Okay. It's just one more, that's all it is. Okay. I didn't say I was perfect. I dare say some of y'all that are out there living in your little fantasy life you got going on up here, have at it. But I'm not jealous of anyone on YouTube. Of that I promise you. I'm not jealous of people in the real world. Of course, there are people that I can sit peers and, just people maybe in your social sphere that I can sit back and go, damn, shit, how much does that fucking car cost? That's what I said when one of the neighbors got a Rolls Royce SUV. That kind of thing. Like, of course, I can completely. We're all like that to a degree. I don't think there's anybody out there who's like not going, damn, I wish I had one of the. I mean, yes, but that is never going to be a reason for me to make an untrue, mean, etc. statement here on YouTube. Okay, period, end of story. I promise you, there's not a fucking person on here, whether I know them or they're just out there. Well, I'm sure, of course, there's probably tons of people on YouTube who have a much grander life than I do, but I'm doing quite fine, and I'm very blessed and fortunate, and I couldn't ask for more. And I'm not just talking about in rooms of my house or parts of my, what do they call that? Square footage under roof? Is your garage under your roof? Like, no. So, but I get it. There are a lot of people, especially women, who seem to be, listen, I'll never take issue with anyone not liking me or shit talking me because of an opinion or a stance that I have about a particular thing. I'm not in the changing minds and hearts business. That's not what I do. I've never fucking stood up here with the intention of saying, oh, well, she's blah, 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 blah. So you should watch. I say all the time, I don't get it. I don't know why people want to watch somebody who's like, I don't go to my plumber when I want legal advice, that kind of thing. But I don't tell people. Oh, hurt. Well, I guess we already kind of covered that. Hurt people say nasty shit, which is just a nicer way. That's a not so nice way of saying what I said before. Hurt people, hurt people. Hey, Blank Slate, how you doing? Hi, Georgia. There are no friends here. There are alliances that are formed based on common thoughts and friend groups or enemies. Hey, Running Bear, how are you? So, like I said, that is not to say that, of course, there are people on here who do have real life friendships outside of this place. But if you think that, channels with tons of subs, like, oh, we're all friends, you know exactly what I'm getting at. This place, it's like a game. More specifically, a game board. You know what never changes? The game. The board. Well, the board. The game board's always the same. What changes is the players and how they move around the board. But just like when you were a kid and you played Monopoly or whatever you played at home, if you did that kind of thing, when you're done, no matter who won, no matter who got to be the shoe or the hat, you swoop all the pieces in, if you're lucky, you're counting your big stack of money at the end of the game. And yeah, you fold it up, put it in the box, and shove it back in the hall linen closet until you play again. It's kind of how this place is. What I wrote down, and just bear in mind there's levels to these things, okay? It's not, none of this is a straight line from this one to that one. And no, there's peaks, there's valleys, there's some people's road has got potholes, some is paved, some's a dirt road. To me, if you are relatively have a normal, boring life, we'll just say, and by that, I mean, you have a job, you have a family of some sort, whatever that means to you. You've got outside, friendships, relationships, hobbies, etc. And you're a decent person, and that doesn't mean you've never had a brush with the law. Maybe you got a DUI. Fuck, I don't know. But when it comes down to it, everybody makes mistakes, but you're a decent person. You're not some duplicitous shitbag who's had, people just in and out of your life like a revolving door, etc. I truly feel like, if you are a decent person IRL and you think that you can come to YouTube and just make this place, thank you, Running Bear, I appreciate that, and make this place is gonna just rally around you and conform to your how your real life, normal life works. No, not so much. I feel like there's very limited growth potential for if your real life, just an average everyday person who doesn't live in fucking chaos. Well, in this neighborhood, there's not too much. Nobody wants to listen to that on YouTube, at least not in this hood. So it's, when I wrote that down, I was like, oh, that's one of those things. It's when I'm saying it, it sounds like it's very, black, white. You start here, you end here. Please, I don't mean to make it sound that simple because it's not. And I'm sure there's plenty of, you know, people who resemble that, but I don't care what anybody tells you. This place, whether you admit it or not, it requires strategic thinking and sitting back. And I think maybe I'm trying to think of a good example. There was something I had thought of it before, and then I said, wait, no, that'll be better somewhere else. Hopefully it'll come back to me. I know I made it sound oversimplified, and it's not. And hopefully I'll have a better example in a minute. You know what's something very ironic I noticed just over the last couple weeks? Travel with Caribbean. Caribbean, were you here before? God, it's been a while. Almost probably like a year ago. Did your name used to be just Caribbean? Because I recognize that name. Are you that real pretty brunette? You came on panel one time. Well, if you are, welcome back. And if not, hi, nice to meet you. And I agree that, listen, this place will take it out of you. It really will. And when I say that it requires being strategic, okay, here's how it works in real life and how it absolutely does not work like this here. In real life, people we choose to spend time with, or people we choose to call a friend. And when I say a friend, I mean friend, not just like here a lot of people, like here something a lot of people do is, oh, I love you. It's very casually thrown around. And to me, it's just something people say. I don't take it literally. I don't think that, people are really love people they haven't met. But oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on. Oh. So in your real life, you associate and call friend, whether it's casual, we get together a couple times a year, or we have lunch every week, whatever it is. Well, you do that like grown-ups do it. I like whoever the hell I like, thank you very much. And when I go to lunch with Susie, if she knows that I also hang out with Jane, but Susie hates Jane's guts, well then this one right here, she doesn't talk to Susie about Jane, and vice versa. And if you've picked well your friends, they are adults and think like you, and they know that they're not going to say to you, listen, do you think I've never had close friends who had a friend that I couldn't stand? I promise you I have. And you know what I would always do? And what was the common thread? Hey, France, how you doing? Hi, Virgo. The common thread would be the friend that we both loved. So when I would see, and who we were both close to. So when I would see my friend Susie, Damn it. When I would see my friend Susie, because I thought so much of her, I would always say, hey, how is, what did I say her name was? Jane? How's Jane? And, you know, she would say, oh, she's fine. I mean, it's just a pleasantry. It's just a thing I'll call you back. Oh shit, no wonder my damn phone wasn't. Hold on. When I took a shower this morning, I had my watch on and I locked it. And I forgot to unlock it. And when you don't unlock it, you can't, like, every time my phone would ring, I kept trying to reject it on here, but it wouldn't take it because it was still locked. So yeah, so that's how it works in the real life. On here, come on, you know it works nothing like that on here. On here, you kind of have to decide, well, who and what is more important to you. And that's just kind of how it goes. So while there are some people who can get away with the real world scenario. I don't think there's very many of us. And oh my God, that freaked me out. I thought my phone was talking. Running Bear. I do. I have friends outside of YouTube. But yeah, on here, you're gonna have to pick a lane, pick a team. And that's not anything that anybody comes to you and says, well, I'm not gonna say it's never happened to me. I'm sure it has probably happened to plenty. But somebody doesn't have to come to me and say, if you want to be hanging with me, well, like, I don't roll with that one. And it's, so when I say there's, what did was it George Bush who said strategery? I like that word. Just like George Bush. I don't give a damn if it's a word or not. You have to take things like that into account, because maybe you do. Maybe there is someone, or maybe there's more than someone that you don't necessarily think is that bad, but you're also probably not basing that on anything more than just what you've seen here and there. Not somebody you follow or know a lot about. So, and of course, we're going to have to, add a little more to that, just, to the rub. Well, you have to take into account why this one, you might know the reasons why they don't like the other one, but whatever you've got going on, well, they've got it going on too. So it's just all of these things are the things I fucking hate about this place, because you can't be yourself fully. I say all the time, this is me. And you'll have to take my word for it, but I promise you, when I walk out of this door, like, nobody's gonna meet me anywhere and say, oh my God, I was shocked. She was so blah, blah, blah. No. You would say, yeah, I still hate that bitch. She's exactly like she was. Hey, Earth, how you doing? Oh, Caribbean, that was you. Well, how are you? Nice to see you. Hey, Tazzy, how you doing? All right, so, and you know what is something I have seen over the last several weeks? Hold on, I want to make sure I didn't. Some of the people on here that have the worst, let's just call it have the worst reputation for doing sleazy things. Well, I'll tell you what is something that I have noticed of late. And hi, Valoma. How are you? Earth, because I'm never awake when you're online, girl. I'm freaking old. I go to bed early. I promise I will if you do something when I am vertical and conscious. Hi, Scorpio. Did I say hi to you? I hope I did. Oh, shit. Anyway, I have noticed that, and listen, I can fully appreciate and recognize that some of the bigger creators on here, they keep their circle small and tight. And I get it, because I think anybody who's been on here any length of time, I have heard say, everybody, I learn something new all the time. And that's not just, how to how to use some feature in YouTube Studio. I mean, I'm sure that's referring to things like that, but also like, I know I constantly am sitting back going, holy shit, I thought I had seen the worst. Well, Zav Girl holds that. Somebody's going to have to work really hard to unseat her, but you know what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to tell you, but what I was going to say is I have noticed that, and that's not even a small group, I don't think. Not like usually people's, usually you're talking about a handful of people that really are there for or roll with somebody else. This is a much larger group, which really makes it even more notable to me. And please, and I'm not going to name who it is. If you can't read between the lines, I can't help you. And it wouldn't matter to you anyway, because you wouldn't know what I was talking about. But what I am thinking of, and this is not me giving any commentary or endorsement of behaviors. All I'm saying is this. They have a very bad reputation, but I'll tell you what, I have had the opportunity to sit back over several weeks, and I watched them close ranks around their own. And when it's kind of like, when you come for one, you come for all. That's just me. That's just based on me on the outside looking in. So it's just kind of ironic that sometimes the ones that are deemed the worst, and maybe they are the worst, I don't know. I know there's some have done some very bad things, but I don't see a lot of others doing the same. Doesn't mean it's not happening. I'm just saying I've just had the opportunity, and because I'm not part of it, I'm not in that. Oh God, I couldn't have said this better myself. All right, give me 2 seconds. I just need to check my phone. To the person who was calling me, I check my messages and I will return it shortly, as soon as I'm done. Yes, I very much agree with that. And that is with the full acknowledgement that this listen, every day this place is a minefield. It really is. It's because everybody's jockeying for different things, and most people don't know what this one's jockeying for. And you know, y'all know exactly what I'm saying. And I would just like to say, for the record, that here's the things I have never done, and I don't plan on starting. I truly try to treat anyone that I speak to on here, on anybody that I actually talk to at any like level outside of a surface chat. Hey Glow, how are you? Blank Slate, I said hi, didn't I? I'm almost sure I did. I have been burned multiple times to varying degrees. No, I'm not going to expand on it. It's never, when I say that, it's never involved more than hurt feelings. No, like nothing like the grimy shit we see that I know of. Here's what I've never done to anyone on here. I've never doxed anybody. I've never gone real life on anybody. I've never encouraged anyone else to go real life on anybody. I've never drug anyone's families into anything, ever. I've never said a word about Betty's mother, despite the fact that, I mean, technically, she is at least part-time a part of her show. My issues are with Betty. I don't know her mother. Her mother is older than me. And I don't go there. Period. End of story. I've never shown private messages between me and anyone else. And I've never recorded anyone's phone call. Whenever I felt compelled and there was someone in need, and that was someone that I liked, I have always tried to help when someone's asked. And I know that nobody wants to ask for help. Something I say all the time, and I mean it, just in talking in terms of how some of these people just blow my mind. Like the tragedy pimps. Oh, I need money for this. I need money for that. I mean, they want everything from the friggin' tampons they need to the toilet paper to, the McDonald's they're shoving down their gullet that they shouldn't be. I'll send you lean cuisine. How about that? I would go hungry before I would come on here and beg for money. That is not to be confused with, I have a genuine need, and due to my circumstances, I am not able to take care of this need. And if you would be so compelled, here's how you help me. Hold on a minute. Bob's at the door. Got to open it before he starts knocking. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, shit, I think my husband's out there making something to eat. Sorry if you hear a little bit of noise. I do that in my real life. I mean, that was just, that was just part of growing up for me. I'm very lucky. I had a 2-parent intact household my entire childhood. I mean, and well beyond my childhood. I was taught, all the things your parents are supposed to teach you. Manners, etiquette, morals, etc. And I get it, and that looks different for everybody. But if you have gotten to this point in your life and you're an adult and you have not ever come to the conclusion or understand the saying, it feels better to give than to receive, that's not just some bullshit they put on a needlepoint pillow at Christmas. I mean, and there's all kinds of ways to give. It doesn't always involve money. You can give of your time. You can give of your just listening. There's all kinds of ways to give. And I feel like I have given to lots of people on here, and I'm not just referring to money. Support. It's, all the ways you can. And, it's very disappointing to me that I've never asked anybody for anything. I am incredibly loyal. I can tell you that. Anybody who has ever helped me and my channel, posting a link, shouting me out, I don't care if I got 1 sub from it. I don't ever forget that. And that goes a very long way with me. That gives somebody a real wide berth with me. And I think not everybody feels that way. There's a lot of people, there's just a lot of damn ill-mannered people in this world, period. Society is becoming more rude and ill-mannered. But I know, based on the last time I was here, that, let's just say this, it's disappointing when I've never asked anybody to do anything for me. And when I've got my name and screenshots to prove it, and thank you, Nanya, because without her doing that, I certainly hope I don't ever need those screenshots. And I haven't asked for them, but I know that she's got them should the need arise. But when that's floating around, and I didn't hear not one person. Now, that's not to say it didn't happen. That's me saying I didn't hear it. But I never heard anybody say, I mean, that to me is one thing that everyone should be against. There should be nobody here who is okay with some fucking scumbag who I've never done a thing to, not said an unkind word, not said a word. He had no beef with me at all. None. But, because I committed the grievous sin of stating my opinion about someone else in the community whose behavior was just looking a little, problematic. That's all I did. I didn't dox anybody. I didn't bring anybody's family into anything. None of that. I did the same thing that many, many, many people in this community do every single day. That's kind of the name of the game. And for that, what I got was a bunch of fucking nut jobs who think that they need my address. I mean, do we see why that would make me a little uneasy? I've never done that. And maybe I didn't hear it. But I didn't hear one person say, fuck you, you're wrong, that's disgusting, and you need to take care of that shit. I did not deserve that. Nobody does. And if there's one thing I know about this place, it's this. Everything I've just spent 3 hours saying, the fact that I have never done any of the things that I just said, and I sure as hell have never done what was done to me on behalf of Constance. Did Constance call it out? I wonder, does anybody in this chat know if Constance told her bulldog, who I've never done a thing to, did she have a little talk with him, put him in the corner and tell him we don't do that here? That's not cool. I mean, I don't listen to her, so I don't know. But I'm going to assume. Well, no, I won't. I'm not going to assume. I'll wait until somebody can let me know. But and none of this shit's going to get twisted either. This isn't about a rebuttal review. Anybody on this platform has every right in the world to, you fucking review me every day of your life if you want. I don't care. Say whatever you want about me. I don't care. But thinking it's okay, because that is a threat. Unless you're sending me a fucking postcard, that's a threat. I don't appreciate it. And I hold on. The dog's down there whining. He's like, oh yeah, bitch, you've been in there forever. Hey, Bama, how you doing? Hi, True Crime Dime. God, I totally lost my train of thought. Well, I mean, I said what I wanted to say. I don't think there's. Oh, here's what I can say from the last time I was here and from now. Here's something that I've, as far as I know, I'll allow for the possibility that, maybe I'm just not aware of it. But that is this. Of all the times that I have heard, one creator say something about another creator, and based on something I heard that, I felt some type of way about, or I had some kind of connection with, because clearly I would have liked one of the parties that was being discussed. My God, like all the times that I have either spoken up or spoken out on, well, I shouldn't say on behalf of someone, because that's even though in the strictest sense of the definition of that word, that is what I was doing. But I don't want to make it sound like, that was of my own volition. Nobody's ever asked me, ever. Not the last time I was here or not now. Nobody has ever asked me to, speak in defense of or speak out for. That has never happened. But that doesn't change the fact that I've done it many, 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 many times. And I don't know. I don't, I can't think of anybody doing that for me. And that's okay. I don't need, nor do I expect. I'm nobody to any of you. But, when something really grimy and shitty and gross does happen, that should not happen. That every single person here, I think, says they're against, that should never go unnoticed. Not if you say that you give a shit about me in any way, shape, form, or fashion, or you support my channel, whatever. So that is what I know. I know that the last time I was here and this time, I know that and I don't mind being a giver. Trust me, I'm good with that. My husband might take umbrage with that statement. But all joking aside, and listen, that is, just because I don't say it, it doesn't mean that I don't understand very much how this place works. Okay. I know that there's a pecking order here. I know that you have to prove yourself in unwritten, unspoken ways. I mean, this place is, while at one time being nothing like real life, it's exactly the same as real life. That's what's so vexing about this place. There's so many things that are diametrically opposed, but despite that, they very much exist at the same time in the same place. And in keeping with that, they work with and against each other. Well, that's a new name I've never seen before. Good Lord. I don't know who that is. If you're calling a bitch about some YouTube thing, take a damn number. That was my burner number too. I don't know what that was. So yeah. That's it. I mean, that's how I feel. And like I said, I'm totally willing to say, just because I didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. So if you did speak out against that being done to me, because there's people rolling around here that want you to think that they're the YouTube police, or they're the street sweepers. Yeah, they're just as grimy and gross as what they say they're against. So, and I think the best way to leave here is, let's see how many this is. 2, 4, 6. We're going to leave with these 11 things that I know for certain. As I sit in this very chair, I know just as sure as I'm sitting here the following things. If you are a YouTube creator, these 11 things will be part of your YouTube experience, not necessarily in order of importance. Number 1, everyone takes a turn in the hot seat. Some will take more than one turn in the hot seat, for some, it's just a lukewarm seat. For some, it is absolutely the electric chair and everything in between. Everybody gets their moment in the hot seat under the sun. You will be recorded by someone that you trust. Now, I haven't had that one happen yet that I know of. Private messages will be shown. Same thing. You know what's interesting? I was trying to kind of think about how many, let's just say there's a handful of people that I know, at least I think I know, their real life details. That shit, like, that stays here unless the cops need it for some, and God, I hope that never happens. Like, it just would never occur to me to ever out someone or expose someone just because I don't talk to you anymore or we don't hang out in the same places anymore. Like, why would I do that? But it happens all the time. You will say, and I quote, "This is the last time I'm addressing this," end quote. That's like the equivalent of getting some guy's name or some woman's name tattooed on your body after you start dating. They say that that guarantees a divorce, and saying those words guarantees that you will talk about it 397 more times. Oh, wine, crime, and mayhem. Then that tells me you don't get out to many places. Yes, I will. I don't want to get that all stirred up again, but just think. Well, we'll discuss it on another. But trust me, it. I would never say anything if there wasn't screenshots to prove it. You will be betrayed by someone you trust. And of all of them, that one, that's the one that really stings. That's the one that smarts. And it's the one you never see coming. That's what that is. You will be hurt and or disappointed by someone you trust. You will at some point, how do they say that? Like, what's the slang for that? Come out your name. You will act out of character. You will do something or multiple somethings that are not in keeping with who you think you are and who you are in your real life. You will find that someone you didn't like prior is really not so bad. You will trade friend groups or communities. You will have something outrageous said about you, which may or may not be factually, well, I guess you could have something outrageous that's true. I don't know. Do those two things go together? I guess they don't. Okay, so maybe what I should have said is some insane lie will be told about you. And the other one that smarts, that goes hand in hand with the other one, is you will have to admit that you were very wrong about someone that you cared about very much. And, call a friend. All right. My dog is going to put me on that list if I do not take him out immediately. He's like, "Look, bitch, it's been 3 hours and 19 minutes. That was the first warning that he gave me." I can hear him rustling around out in the living room, which that always worries me. So, all right, kids, I am going to go. I'm going to walk my dog. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to the Fountain of Youth. So I will not be here for I won't be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yes, I'm gonna go use all those damn Juvederm gift cards. But Friday, we'll shoot for Friday. Oh goodness! Ow! Oh, I'm gonna take a close up too of my new desk. I saw that skull at Home Goods with those you can see it better here. How cool is that? And you know, they think this is for Halloween, but like I'll keep this out. This is so Alexander McQueen. And then the other things, those are there's 4 in each. Let me see who they are. Yves Saint Laurent, Schiaparelli, Louis Vuitton, Christian Louboutin. And the other one is Chanel, Hermes, Valentino, and I think Prada. These are really nice books. I'm gonna oh shit. Usually you can tell. Let's see who this publisher is. It's not Rizzoli, but you can usually, I don't know who Welbeck is. That's a new one. I mean, the binding is actually decent. I mean, it's not the best in the world, but it's a decent little. So yeah, each one has 4 of these. Home Goods. Oh shit, I put that, damn it, did I put that in upside down? I did. So I bought 2 box sets, and there was 2 more of that, or was there only one? There was one other model that I did not buy because I liked the colors of these. The other box set was Dior, Chanel, Prada, Louis Vuitton, but each set was $35, which actually, that is an absolute steal. All right, Bob's like, second warning, I'm not fucking around. Let's go. Crazy Nurse Home Goods. They didn't have many. So if you like them and you think you want some, I would recommend going soon, because my Home Goods is a really nice big one. And they probably had 5 of each style. All right, kids, it's time to go be the person my dog thinks I am. All right, y'all, have a great night. I will see you around. And blank slate, I love that. I love Day of the Dead. All right, children, y'all have a good night. Behave out here on these streets. I probably won't be around tonight. I need to take it right on down. Much like Betty tries to wash the muriatic acid out of her hair, I need to wash the YouTube out of my hair. All right, kids, have a good night. I will see you at some point on Friday. Bye.
Father, you should know I've been going solo. Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go. Lost in trust, it's real. All I feel. Break the signs. Every time it's real. I do what I want. 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 Hear me now, I do what I want. time. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs every time. Let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. 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 Hear me now. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs every time. Let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. I do what I want.
Good morning. What's new, pussycat?
Thought that you should know I've been going so